you need soldiers, and you need what's it called, and you need Torah. There's actually a few. By the way, I'm sure everybody's hearing now more and more stories of everything that's going on, right? You're hearing all these stories from different people, the different hayalim, different avrechim. There's one story that's going around that I heard it third hand, and I got the number of the person who heard it from the guy, but I didn't get a chance to call him. And I was going to ask someone to call for me, but I didn't even have a chance to tell them to call them and to figure it out. Okay.
What's up?
How you doing? Hazak Baruch.
We're here at the shiur right now.
Hazak Baruch. Hazak Baruch.
Hazak Baruch.
Hazak Baruch.
Send him the link so he can watch it.
You want to watch the
Don't ask him, just send it to him. You don't ask, you take the order.
Is it is it recorded or is this a live stream?
Live.
No, you can't.
Yes, no.
He's not working.
Okay, fine, it's a stream. It's being recorded. Alright, so listen, so there's a guy, there's an avrech that was sitting by Larry, how you doing? There's an avrech that was by the hospital. He was admitted into the hospital, and he's sitting in the bed next to him is sitting a soldier, and the soldier's friend comes to visit him, and he turns to the avrech, okay, and he asks him, he goes, "Are you a?" He goes, "Why aren't you serving the army?" So he goes, "I am serving the." He goes, "I don't serve in the army, but I do a lot for the army." That's what he says. Oh, BJ.
Asked him, why don't you serve? He asked him.
He says, "Yeah, the guy was trying to be like a little whatever."
Oh, wow.
The guy was trying to be like a little whatever, and he tells him, "Why aren't you?" He goes, "Why didn't you? Why aren't you serving?" He goes, "I am serving." Oh, good, my one hayal that I have. Michael, come sit over here next to me, so I can say I have hayalim next to me. You too. You have a gun. Come over here.
This is a chair.
Bring the chairs over. Bring the chairs. Let me say hi. So, I haven't seen you in 2 months. How you doing? How are you? Good to see you. How you doing? Yeah, Baruch Hashem. Good to see you. That's why I always tell you, play the live first, because there's always the pleasantries at the beginning and people are coming in. I want you over here. Yeah, I want you here next to me. I want you next to me. So, listen, there's this avrech, but don't shoot anybody, all right? This avrech is Sash. So the avrech is sitting there and is lying in the bed, and this guy's friend asks him. He goes, "Why don't you serve in the army?" So he goes, "I don't serve in the army, but I help the army a lot." He says a lot. So he goes, "What do you do?" He goes, "Everybody has a name. Everybody has a name in my kollel, and we pray and learn for each person." Okay, like we know, by the way, the last couple of classes, I forgot them because we weren't doing it here. I printed like 50 names and we give them out. And these have become my bookmarks in all my books. So as I open them up, I look, okay, so Or Moshe ben Aliza. I pray a little tefillah.
Amen.
So the guy says, "Yeah, but what you're saying is fake." He goes, "Yeah, come on." He goes, "Yeah, but you're just doing it to make it. You don't take it seriously. You make it to make me feel good, or make it like to make yourself feel good. You don't do nothing." He goes, "If you really know who it is," he goes, "you'll know the guy's name." What's the guy's name? What's the soldier's name? It's a true story. The guy goes, "Itai Yehuda ben Keren," and the soldier that's in the bed lifts his head up. He goes, "That's my name."
Wow.
He goes, "That's my name." It's a true story. I heard it third hand, and I got the number of the second hand guy. And I was going to ask you to call, but I had Rahmanas on you because you were so busy, and I didn't. But right now, it's at a third. I wanted to hear it firsthand. And to show you what but now the story. But by the way, in the true Zera Shimshon fashion, the guy asked. He goes, "Well, if you're praying for him, why is he? How did he land up in the hospital? Mm-hmm. The guy's in the hospital right now." So the avrech says, "Oh, that's a good question." And he looks, right? So he asked the soldier, he goes, "When did you get injured?" He tells him it was Tuesday. This was 2 weeks ago. He goes, "Tuesday at 4:40 p.m. He got injured." Wow. So the avrech is thinking, and he goes, "I can't believe it." Amen. He goes, "I can't believe it." He goes, "My wife asked me to go help in the house, and I didn't get to kollel until 5 p.m. I didn't get. Usually I'm in Kollel earlier. I didn't get to Kollel till 5 p.m. I mean, I didn't learn for you. The Torah is magen. Torah is magen. This is a true story. I heard it third hand. Okay, and it would have been second hand, but we're very busy around here in JOC, so it is what it is.
Right.
The reason, yes.
I have another one.
Tell me.
This morning we were going to go to Jerusalem. And around, maybe it could be around that time. And my wife had a client, whatever else, had a chavrusa I was trying to work around. We didn't have learning at that time, but that was one of the reasons we went later.
We're learning.
We didn't go into cloud, but we would have.
Let me tell you something. Let me tell you. Whatever happened today, okay, by the junction, if there was no learning, God forbid, who knows? Understand that Torah saves lives. I don't care how much you think you're doing or you're not doing. You are doing more than you think. You know, there's another story. I'll tell you another story before we get started. Of a Hayal that, who said this to me? Tom Shaffer said it to me. Okay, Tom, he said it to me today. And he tells me, and it was on the news, okay? A Hayal got hurt, he got injured, and he tells, and a Hayal got hurt, and he, very nice. Everything's mezonot, by the way, all the bread's mezonot. Why? I think it's so, apple juice, so we can get into that later.
We'll learn about it.
We can learn about it on Tuesday. So he said that he was on the brink of life and death, and he actually died, and they revived him. And thank you very much. And the guy said that the Midat Hadin was taking me. The Midat Hadin was taking me. There's a Hiloni guy tattoos, not religious. He says the Midat Hadin was taking me, but there was a strand of Avrechim holding onto my leg. A strand, like a string. Okay? Avrech, holding onto my leg, not allowing me to go, and pulled me. That's why I'm alive. The guy, by the way, if you want, I'll tell it to you verbatim. He goes, this a soldier, a secular and tattooed young traditional Jew fighting in Gaza, was hanging between life and death. For a short time, he was clinically dead. He then miraculously gained consciousness. This is on 7 Israel National News, okay? Okay? He then came back and he had a message. While he was dead, the soldier said he saw Bedin Shel Mala. He says that the Malachim were trying to bring him up to the next world, but he was tied to this one by a long string of Torah learning scholars, pulling him down towards his life.
A dude who never learned before.
Tattoos, whatever.
Well, maybe it does.
Whatever. Amazing.
Doesn't matter. When he awoke, it was clear that it was the mitzvah of Torah learning that saved his life. Okay, this story sends chills down the spines of whoever hears it, especially those who know the previous paper story division between sex and Jewish people. Everything has it's. I don't know about you guys, but when it happened last year, the videos of the fighting and the mahloket and the crazy, I could not watch a video. I physically could not watch it. The cops and I couldn't watch it. Jews, what are you talking about? Those are both of my brothers. What are you crazy? They're both. We have to stick together. We can't fret the small things. You see people that were anti-Jewish, anti-Torah 6 months ago, are saying Shema Israel now.
I saw a video of a guy, he flat out said there were a bunch of Charedim making a barbecue for them. He's like, I used to hate you. I hated you and what you stood for.
Israel, come sit here.
I couldn't
so
stand
get up and go.
anything about you guys. You guys are all about love. I can't.
Because a lot of the
I
things.
can't promise that I'm going to continue putting tzitzit on after the war. I can't promise that I'm going to keep Shabbat after the war. But for right now, this is what I'm doing. And he gave them all hugs.
That's what you have to understand. This everything we do, but so yes, that's good. The Torah saves. And that's my message, that the Torah saves. Now, I wanted to do something that was read those names. I want you to read those names. I wanted to find something that has to do with the Hayalim. All right? So I prayed. I said, Zera Shimshon, please help me. I want to find something. I open up. The first page I open up is what? What does it say in English? Why David HaMelech kills. Okay? Just to show you. Josh, come. That's a do not touch, do not look section. Good.
Another guy said.
Nice. So we have a Yakut Shimoni on the when who's the first one we see David's name come up when Shemuel comes to see him. Right? Shemuel comes to see him, and he wants to bring him. They tell him
To choose one of them. He's trying to figure out which
one of the brothers, right? Vayishlach vayivieu vehu admoni. Now Esav. Now we're going to discuss why does Esav kill and why does David HaMelech kill. Okay, very big difference. Esav HaRasha and David HaMelech. Why do they both kill? They both have a lot of blood on their hands.
They're both gingies.
They're both admoni. So when Shemuel saw that David HaMelech was red, he got afraid. Why did he get afraid? He says, "Shoot." This shofer damim ke'esav. This guy is going to be prone to kill just like Esav. Esav, we know, was all red, full of hair and red. He was a redhead, right? Amar lo HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Hashem tells Shemuel Hanavi, he goes, Esav midat atzmo hu horeg. The reason why Esav kills was because he wants to, from his own volition. Okay, aval zeh midat Sanhedrin hu horeg. But what's his name kill? David HaMelech kills based on the Sanhedrin. So they both kill, but one does it for the right reasons, and one does it for the wrong reasons. He does it for himself, what he wants, when he wants. David HaMelech does it only when the Sanhedrin says it's okay to kill. Okay? But the question, that's the Midrash, the Yakut Shimoni. The question is, why was Shemuel so nervous? A king is supposed to be that way. He's supposed to be able to kill. Mm-hmm. Right? And we know by David in Divrei Yamim it says, Ki damim rabim shafachta. Right? That he killed, he spilled a lot of blood, but he's supposed to. He's expected to. David HaMelech was supposed to take off all of Israel, so he's supposed to. It's not going to be a white flag. So really, he was the Ra'ui for David to do a lot of milhamot with his enemies. And what was Shemuel so nervous about? You understand? I mean, he sees David. He says, "Oh, great! Now he's going to start killing like Esav killed. What's the big deal? He's supposed to kill. That's his job." So now look, what does this redness symbolize? This redness symbolizes not only a sign of killing. It's a sign of evil. It's a sign of evil nature, of an evil nature.
What's mizgo, right?
An evil nature. Shemizgo.
Bad temper.
Mizgo is what?
Bad temper.
Bad temper? Okay, but over here it's talking more about an evil nature, that he's going to do things out of evil, not out of good. That's the thing. Like, by the way, I'll prove it to you. You have a midrash in Yakut Shimoni. What does it say? Vayetza Shor Admoni. But this is a little crazy, so that's why I hope you guys ate first. What does it mean that he ate, that he came out red? How did he come out red? Sheshata kol dam nidata. What does that mean? I'll explain. Please, one moment. It took me a while to be able to break this down. Okay? And basically, what I asked, so it's just so you know, L'chaim, just so you know, I'm going to explain. Well, let me tell you, I'm going to tell you what it means in a minute. But I'm going to go forward from there and then I'm going to go back. Because I consulted, my friend, Penny, come sit next to me. Get a chair for Penny. Yeah, too late. I'm sorry. You're here. Tell your wife. 2 minutes. Oh, that's messed up. Is it for equipment? Okay. So Esav, by the way, Dafka came in the second I said that he drank the whatever. So what does that mean? So that's why when Shemuel saw David and he saw that he's all red, he was afraid. He said, even though that he's accustomed to kill and to have a lot of milhamot like he's supposed to, now he has this evil nature in him. So the question is, what does this mean that he drank the dam nidah? Okay, let me be clear. I struggled figuring out what this means. Look, everything you learn has the peshat, and has the remez, has the drash, and has the sod, right, BJ? So you have to figure out how they're saying it's written in black and white. They're saying something, but at the same time, they're trying to tell you something, and it's not everything's literal. I found out because I called the doctor. And I asked them very specific details of how a baby is formed. And the question is emet. I have the text messages to prove it. And I still didn't tell him why I asked him all these questions, because I said I'll explain later, and I never got back to him. Basically, I asked. Well, if you look at there's a midrash in Tazria that says on the pasuk, "Hayim v'Chesed asita imadi." Hayim and Chesed you did with me, which means what? A woman is filled with blood, and where does the womb and the whole thing happens in the same place? The good part and the bad part, it's all like in the same situation. But when the man puts this whatever, the seed goes in, it goes through. Right? And that what does Hashem do? As one of the things that he does, he creates. So Hashem, they what's the word? When they click, what do they click? Huh? Okay, sure. Right. When the thing goes together, then when the seed attaches, then it goes into the system and it continues onward. Okay? So I called to verify to understand when does this happen. I asked, it's like, if I showed you guys the message, is very funny because I'm not good like that. So I asked them, I go, is it like all blood inside? Like, is there like fluids? Like, how does it like? So he explained to me there is a part of the process where the seed attaches itself to the egg, and it attaches itself to one of the walls. There's a couple of walls in the womb, and at that point, that's all blood. Fine. Esav stayed there a little too long because that size more tum'ah-like. You understand?
In that early inception stage.
Yeah.
In that moment that.
And the early what?
But he was born before Yaakov. Oh, because Yaakov was really first, and he pushed him.
But it doesn't matter when he was born, which order he was born. It doesn't matter which order. When he was conceptualized, he stuck around the tum'ah part too long.
Gemara says that, yeah. Rashi says that
No, Rashi says if you put two balls in a tube, the one goes out the other. This has nothing to do because it doesn't matter if he came first or came later. It doesn't matter. The fact that whichever one he went, the first or last, he stuck to the wall longer than he should. But why? Because that's more of the tameh part, and he stayed there. Okay, the Asara Ma'amarot. Okay, Rapapo, who was a student of. I forgot. Not that Arizal, but like one of the, heavy. Asara Ma'amarot is heavy. He writes, Perek Asiri about David when he was conceptualized. Amazing. He says the soul of David did not want to go down once he got connected. The seed once it got fertilized. Okay, fine. שהנפש דוד הייתה מתקשה לצאת, להתלבש באותה טיפה שהזריע אביו. The nefesh of David was fighting, did not want to go down. Thank you. I'm starting mumbling. It's not my topic. It's not my thing. מתקשה לצאת ולהתלבש to what? Don't forget, you have your neshama that's in your mind, not in your heart. Your neshama is in your mind, and you have your body. Your neshama, remember we say every day, every morning, Elohai neshama, shenatata bi tehora, ata beratai taisata nefachta bi. What does nefachta bi mean? It means you blew it into my body. Why blew it in? Because the neshama doesn't want to leave. By the way, if you saw Hashem, you would not leave. You would not leave. What do you mean?
Whoever blows out, it comes from inside you. That's what the neshama is, the part of Hashem.
Very nice. Very good. Very nice. So to show you that the nefesh of David did not want to go down when his father conceived, when his mother conceived. Why? Look what it says. B'sha'ah shehaya shoteh bekos zeh v'noten enav v'libo v'kos aher. Why? Do you know the story?
No, he was thinking about somebody.
But what does that mean? Yishai, by the way, David's father was one of the 4 people that died without sin. You had Binyamin, you had Yishai. We learned this together, no? Right?
Yeah.
Boaz. Not Boaz.
Amram.
Maybe Boaz. Amram, right. Amram.
Sarach best Asher.
No, slow down. In order. Binyamin. Amram. Okay,
Caleb and David.
No.
Yes.
Kilab
Kilab and David, very good. Right? And you had Yishai. Okay? So David's son and David's father. Okay? Now Josh, listen. So what does it mean? Yishai, who does Yishai come from? Yishai, don't shoot and don't drink and shoot.
Yishai is from Shevet Yehuda.
At the same time.
Yishai is from who? From Ruth.
Root, yeah.
Ruth was a Moaviyah. What is the halakha? The halakha is you're no Moabite man is allowed to enter the congregation. Okay, no Moabite man enter the congregation. And come on, sit down. and we're gonna review in a minute.
I've been listening on the tube.
Oh wow, that's impressive. That's very. I'm gonna still review. It's good. And he was afraid to be with his wife because he said she's a Jew, and if I have a safek if I'm allowed to be with her or not, because I am a Moavi.
Right.
So therefore, he didn't want to be with his wife. What does his wife do? His wife says, "Take my maidservant," just like Leah and Rachel did. Take my maidservant, and you procreate with her. You'll have kids through her. The shivha was a sadeket. Now, who's the shivha? Again, Yishai is David HaMelech's father. His father had a wife, and his wife has a housekeeper, a maidservant. Yishai was afraid because he said, I am from Ruta Moaviyah, and I don't know if I'm allowed to cohabit with a Jewish woman, maybe it's asud. So he withstood. But his wife said, okay, you don't want me, no problem, take my maidservant. The maidservant was sadeket, and what did she do? The night that they were supposed to be together, the shivha sends the wife, and inside, you go inside. But it's dark. Because that's the halakha. It's supposed to be dark. He didn't see nothing.
We thought it was a privileged, but really
it was the wife, the real wife.
So he was thinking about her, really.
So that's why he was drinking one course, but thinking about another course, because he was thinking about the shivha, because that's what he thought he was with. And in reality, he was with his own wife.
Wow.
I said, it's exactly like Rahel. Yeah, that's exactly right. And so when that happened, David HaMelech I don't want to be involved in anything bad. I don't want stolen money. I don't want to, it's nothing to do with me. So he pushed away. He didn't want to go in because his father, again, like the saying goes, was drinking one cup of wine, and thinking about another cup of wine. So because of that, he didn't want to go down. And that would happen there. Okay? The HaKadosh Baruch Hu bisero she'abiv sadiq gamur. And what does HaKadosh Baruch Hu tell him? Don't worry, your father's sadiq gamur. V'chol ma'asav, and all of his things that he does is l'shem shamayim. Even though he's withholding from his own wife, but it's l'shem shamayim because he didn't want to make a sin. And also gave a haftaha on what his mother and what the shivha did. She'asta bazeh avera lishma, because it was a sin what she did, but she did it lishma. Because she did it because she knows the halakha that she's supposed to be with her husband, and it's okay. So she didn't cross that line. She switched it out. Plug. She switched it out, and that's the thing.
What would the sin be for a guy who's Moabite?
So that's a deoraita. It's a deoraita because
he's not Jewish.
No. Different. The Moab specifically, no, not a goy. Forget a goy. Moab specifically because they did not let us pass.
I understand.
Right.
So he's not Jewish then.
Yeah.
So no.
No, but Ruth
No.
converted. No, but Ruth already
Ruth converted. Ruth was
He
a
thinks
few
he's
generations
He's
before.
Jewish, but he's usher.
But he had this stuff. Look, you're talking about a guy who never sinned in his entire life. One of 4 people.
I understand.
I'm just saying. So what does that mean? You have to make a lot of gedarim.
Why did he marry her to begin with?
He's a Moabite.
I don't know. I got an hour. I didn't go through it. I have the Asara Ma'amarot in my house, but I didn't look into
Why
it.
he married her to begin with?
Okay? No, I'm sure he married her. I don't know why he married her. I wasn't there.
But he was allowed to have a bakal because he's not.
He was allowed. He was, but he was being parush because he wasn't sure. He wasn't sure. Since he wasn't sure, he wanted to step back. He wanted to not, and that's why
David was a mom's.
So now what happens? Now, by the way, what do we say?
But he hated him. I thought he was a mom's. That's why
Guys.
Shaul didn't choose him. Shmuel didn't choose him.
Zev,
He's asking who we're speaking about.
who are we speaking about?
I'm saying Yishai. We're talking about the.
Yishai is David's father. We want to understand. We learned how Esau became red. He became red because he hung out in the wrong spot in the womb for too long, in the part of the tumah part, and he became red because of that. David became red for a completely different reason. He became red because he said he saw what was going on. He said, I don't want to be a part of it. He didn't want to go down. Hashem said, no, go. Don't worry about it. You'll be fine.
But he still has.
So because he stayed in the red zone too long, and the white turned red. The white turned red. This is, by the way, it's two completely different boys. It's two completely different. You have one Asara Mamarot, and you have a Midrash in Parashat Tazliah. Two very different sources. One talking about Esav and one talking about David. Exactly why they turned red.
It's the moment of inception. One of them saying, "Hey, I really like it over here."
Yeah.
And one of them saying, "No.
I don't want to go in. I don't want to be a part of it."
Stuck in that
Very
spot.
good. You understand? One says, "I want to stick around." The other one says, "I don't want to be a part of it." It's crazy. It's an amazing thing. So now this is what the Midrash means. All of the children that are created from the second they're incepted, and nobody sticks around in the nidah part. They go straight. You go straight, right? Do not pass go. Do not collect $200. Everybody goes. They go, and everything comes out fine. David nitakev sham harbe. David took there a little too long. Because he didn't want to join that baby. His neshama didn't want to join that because it was formed from the wrong. He thought was from the wrong way, and we don't want to be a part of that, right? That's how the tipa from the father turned red. And it's like someone who did what what's his name did and stuck around too long on the wrong side, like Esav. And the truth is that David HaMelech didn't drink nothing. Because the second the nevish went into the tipa, he booked it. He was out. Once Hashem told him, "Don't worry, you're good," the neshama went into the body, and then it went its merry way. It didn't stick around like Esav did. But the fact that the Zera stayed, that's why David HaMelech is red. Amazing. Okay? Not like Esav, Masha'enke be'Esav, because after his nefesh, by the way, went in right away. His nefesh went into the Zera right away, and he just hung around. He's stuck there, right? And therefore, that's the reason why Esav kills on his own volition. Because he does things for himself. He liked where he was in the womb, he stayed there. He drank, he ate, he partied, I don't know what he did there. Okay? David, not David. Exactly what you said, by the way. The reason why David is red is the complete opposite reason why Esav is red.
That's why also Esav came out first, because he stayed in that area. So he came out first. That's why Yaakov told him, "It's not fair that you're stealing from me." As Bechorah.
Right, so really Yaakov was first.
Yeah.
And Esav kind of...
Well, yeah, it's exactly what Rashi says.
So that kind of gets shot in Rashi.
Actually, I've told this before, but this is the reason why. I called my mother one day, and she's in this. You know this one, right? You know this one?
No, that's just the beginning of the story.
I called my mother one day. She's at the supermarket, and I hear the boop. They're checking out. They're checking her out. Cashiers, boop boop. And she's at the cashier. So I go, "Ma." So it was in the middle of a work day. I don't know. It was like around this time because I know this Rashi, where the first one's first. It could come out last. So I'm a twin. I'm a twin. We're fraternal, but my brother is older than me by 1 minute.
Ah, you have a twin.
I'm a twin. All right, he knows much more than me, by the way. Much more than me.
Yeah. In 1 minute.
I told him.
You in 1 minute you can do a lot.
He tells me. We're always at the Shabbat table, and he's always whatever I say, he's saying I'm wrong. So I told him one time, I go, you got to come. Yeah. So I told him, I go, you got to come to Efrat. He goes, why? Because you got to fix everything I'm messing up. I go, because apparently I'm wrong on everything. But anyway, I called my mother one time, and she's at the supermarket, and she goes, and I tell her, "Ma, how do you know that Leon was born first? Maybe I was made first." So I promise. And she's on the what's it called? Wait, give me my phone a minute. Oh, okay, no, I'm not there. So he goes. So you hear the beeping, boop. The cashier. She goes, "Nope. You were always baby B." And she's like, along with a day, like nothing, off the cuff, just like that. But again, back to David and Esav, the difference, they're both red, but completely different reasons. Esav, bad. I want for me. So therefore, Hashem tells him, "Haoreg midat atzmo," from his own volition, and he tells David complete opposite. I don't want to be a part of something that is not kasher, and therefore he made his body more red from where the location of where it was until Hashem got him to go down, and then once he went down, he went out. Good, but you have a big question that I'm sure all you're asking. The Midrash says, Yisrael asked me this before. The Midrash says that Hashem tells him, Esav kills Midat Atzmo, but David HaMelech killed Midat Sanhedrin.
Ad kedei kach he couldn't build a Bet Mikdash.
That has nothing to do with Sanhedrin.
No, but
That's for the killing.
for the killing.
But what he's saying, Shemuel was nervous that he sees David all red. Oh shoot, we got another one. We got another Esav on our hands, and now we got real issues. And he tells him no. Esav kills because he wants to kill, and David kills based on the Sanhedrin. But last time I checked, if anybody read the Navi and looked at Masechet Shabbat Nun Vav Amud Aleph, when he killed Uriah, the husband of what's her name? Bathsheba. He sent him to the front line because he didn't go through the Sanhedrin. Last I checked. So the question is, why is Hashem telling Shemuel that David, when he kills, he goes through the Sanhedrin?
You have to go to the Sanhedrin to send him on the first line.
Well, you can't just kill people. We don't do that.
You didn't kill him.
You kill him.
Put him in the front of the war.
Okay. How do you feel, soldier? You feel that's okay?
That's not the best, but still army. You do the orders.
V'halo av David harak shelo b'Sanhedrin. David killed without the Sanhedrin, like it says in Shabbat, Nun Vav Amud Aleph. Shahaya lo, because the Gemara says over there that he should have judged
It's amazing that
Uriah.
like he killed him.
Yes.
He sent him to the war.
Of course it is, by the way. Something that's Gorim. What do you mean?
No,
If you're Gorim something, if I move the bottom box and cause everything to fall, it's my fault.
That's a psik shot to you?
Pesik Reshe.
Whatever.
Yeah.
That's what it is?
But he could have sent
If I'm
anybody
sending him to the front lines, he's gonna die? It's not the same thing.
So then how can you send
First of all, if you want to go Hilchot Shabbat, that is the same thing. That's why you have the concept Pesik Reshe de lo nichaneh. Isud de Rabbanan, Isud de Oraida.
line then if you're not gonna die?
You put him on the front lines. But you put him on the front line.
Give somebody the head of the turkey to play with, or whatever it is, you're gonna be over and avera. That's what it is, right? But the guy's not definitely going to die if you send him to the front
Yeah,
lines.
it's not a secret.
He sent him to the front lines in order that he should go. Hoping. That was his intention.
Okay, but it wasn't Mahfuz.
No, but that's what he wants.
Say that he killed him.
You're missing the point. He put him there in order to. Why is it you have a difference between manslaughter, right, and attempted murder? Or you have murder and you have manslaughter. What's manslaughter? I did it by accident. Murder is I had intention. Manslaughter is
involuntary manslaughter.
And then there's manslaughter.
Yeah.
I think what Shmuel
Right, but no,
is the
but-
intentions.
But we're talking about it. By the way, it's true. Shemuel's talking about his intentions.
But someone has to
Give
be
a
the
shout
front
out
line
for
and
Sammy
someone else.
Samir.
Yeah, but the problem with the king is.
By the way, really, I want to give a shout out really to Sammy Aaron. By the way, very cool. He goes. Oh, his name is Shimshon. It sounds like my name. Let's do it. I'm in. You should. By the way, we should talk about for a second. Most of you people know, but Sammy, listen up. I'm talking to you. So if he doesn't listen to this, I'm gonna. I'd like to know that he did. Jerry's here. Good. Who is the Zera Shimshon? Who is the Zera Shimshon? Where does it come from? Where did this phenomenon come out of nowhere? These questions that nobody asked.
From Italy and
Rabbi Shimshon Nachmani.
So Rabbi Shimshon Haim Bar Nachmani, he had one. So he lived about 270 years ago, 260 years ago.
Money?
Bar Nachmani.
He's from the Ramban's family?
No, I think just same name. Maybe neighbors, but no. And he was actually a contemporary of the Ora Haim, and his teacher was the father-in-law of the Ramhal. Okay, the father-in-law of the Ramhal. He had one son who passed away, Lo Aleinu V'Lo Alechem, and he writes. He was a big mekubal, huge mekubal.
Or Chaim HaKodesh was his friend, and he
I said that.
endorsed him fully.
Okay, endorsed, fine. And he tells him, he writes in his Hakdama that I have no children, and now that I have no children, I plead 10 forms of prayer to you. Now, what are these 10 forms of prayer? You have se'aka, you have bechia, crying. You have 10 forms of prayer that Zera Shimshon, the Mekubal, by the way, was the chief rabbi of 4 cities in Italy. 4 cities. And he says, well, anybody that learns my Torah will be doing me a tremendous hesed, and will see Yeshuot. Learn my Torah, and you'll see Yeshuot. I pray for you in Shemaim, you'll be considered my child. Because he has no child. Okay?
That's the Zera.
That's where it's Zera Shimshon. His name is Shimshon. Zera is us. We are a Zera. So the more we learn, the more favorite that the kid will be.
The sefer is called Toldot.
Toldot Shimshon is on Pirkei Avot, which is harder than the Parashah, by the way. It's harder than much harder. He wrote a lot of works on Kabbalah, but he had that buried with him. He did not buried. It's not, and we don't know where he's buried, by the way. We're trying, but we don't know where he's buried. Legit, we don't know where he's buried. We're trying. So now listen. So again, we went through them. They said, Jerry, president of JOC, come sit next to me a minute. I put this in your facility to show people that this is where they should be putting their money. This is what they're doing. Come. I want you to sit over here. Jerry, come on.
You have to listen. He's Sephardi.
Give him the Sephardi sauce. Pull the chair closer.
You like spicy food?
Of course I like spicy food. I got a chair. Look, I got a hayal on my right, and I got Anshe Maaseh over here to my left.
Okay.
I sit down. Shut up. All right, let's review what we said. Let's review. Very nice. We have a Yakut Shimoni that says when so cute. When Shemuel sees David, he goes, "Oh no, I got another one." Why? Because he says he sees him that he's Admoni. He's red.
Okay. Right?
And why is he red? Because so he says that just like David is, just like this guy's gonna kill like Esav kills. Esav kills on his own volition. Shoot, I got it. This is gonna be the kid. There's no redheads in the Jewish community back in the day. That's right. But Hakadosh Baruch Hu comes and says, "Don't worry. Esav kills on his own. David kills based on the Sanhedrin." That's the Midrash. Okay? Now, the question is, why does Shimon have such a big deal? Why is he so upset? It's okay. He's a king. He's supposed to kill. We have a pasuk in Divrei Hayamim that is Shevichut Damim. It's going to happen. This is what he's meant to do. What's the big deal? Why is he so upset? You need this to happen. And we said, what was he so afraid of? So we explained by the way, the term Admoni. What does Admoni mean? Admoni means became red from within. Became red from within. How does that play? We're going to say it in a minute. That we explained that the redness is not only a sign of killing, it's also a sign of an evil nature. A guy has this redness in him, he has this evil nature. Right? And we know that Esav had this evil nature because when he was in the womb of Rivka, his mother, he stayed in the not so great part longer than he should have because he wanted to. Mm-hmm. And that's how he got red. As opposed to... Hello, who's talking to the back? As opposed to David, who became red for a different reason completely. Why did he come red? He became red because his father's Yishai, big Sadiq. Okay, he. Reuven,
I'm translating.
you don't know English?
He knows, but not
Katzat.
fluent.
Slicha. So David, why did David turn red? Because when he was conceived, this is the Asara Ma'amarot writes this. Okay. When he was conceived, his father thought that he was with his wife's Shivha.
Okay.
Why? Because he comes from Ruth HaMoaviyah. Right? We all know, right? Boys, listen up. We all know from Ruth that we assume that Ruth, the Mashiach, David's going to come from Ruth, but she's a Moaviyah. He was assuming that now that I come from Moavi, maybe I'm not allowed to be with a Jewish woman because that's the halakha l'maaseh deoraita. You know that a Moavi man, even if he converts, is not allowed to be.
And maybe he knows something about his son David, who's supposed to come, and his intentions as Moavi or son of Moavi.
No, it's not what it says. He says specifically that he was afraid that because maybe I am a Moavi, I'm not allowed to be. Mm-hmm. So his wife says, go with my maidservant. The maidservant at night tells the wife, you go, don't worry about it. And now David sees, and he's using the word, drinking a wine, but thinking about another wine. Because Yishai, David's father, didn't know who he was with. It's all dark. So it's like a Leah and Rahel item. Okay? So when David saw this, he didn't want to go.
Okay.
He didn't, by the way, we all know how long was David supposed to live?
He wasn't supposed to live at all.
He wasn't supposed to live at all. David, that man, was supposed to be, you know that, supposed to be a stillborn. Stillborn. David HaMelech was supposed to be a stillborn. But it's a mahloket.
Adam HaRishon gave it.
It's a mahloket.
Noach gave it.
You have Adam HaRishon, you have Abraham, Yitzhak, and Yaakov. If you add the missing years, it equals 70, because Yitzhak lived 180. Right? How long so what was it? I think it was, I forgot the math. Thank you.
Adam lived at 930.
930, right. You're supposed to live 1,000, 930, but there's a second opinion in the Midrash, huh? Right, and there's a machlok in the Midrash who gave him the time, and then the whole goes to the whole thing that Hashem made Adam HaRishon sign. Because when the 930 years came and it was time for him to die, he didn't want to go. He goes, no, forget it. Give it back to me. I don't want to do it. Yeah. So Hashem's like, here's the contract. You signed it. Because crazy stuff. So David was red for a different reason. David was red because he didn't want to be a part of something bad. Just one chesed, by the way, you should know. I'm going to tell you a story. Who wants to hear a story?
Yeah.
It's really intertwined.
Yeah, man, it's no joke. Zera Shimshon.
It's like, wow, this.
Yeah. Listen. You taught me big musar. Just listen. Well, you're allowed to once. It's okay. With this this deal, by the way, one of the biggest deals we made was one of the first deals we made was for vests, to bring vests into the country. We worked with the IDF. We had a team from the IDF, and night and day we were working on this. And we were the first. I don't know if we were the first, but we were definitely one of the first. And we brought over 4,000 units. Yes or no? It was about 4,000.
3,800.
3,800. But then there was another shot. Now we got like a little extra at the end.
Yeah.
Okay. We're on the phone now. We have to raise this money. We don't have this money coming out of whatever. We got to raise this money. And what do we do? And so we had a lot of people. Yes, no. Yes, no. The goods are coming the morning. The morning of the goods are coming in the morning. The night before we're short $1 million. Okay, it's a $2.2 million order. Whoa. We put a deposit down. When the goods land, you got to pay the rest. Fine. He tells me put that because we feel the vibration. Oh. We had a meeting with a guy, which I will admit I brought. Okay. And we're on a Zoom call, and it was really just supposed to be like a pleasantry meeting. The guy was putting up $1 million, the money that we needed. The guy was putting $1 million, guy in America, and we're buying the vest for the IDF. We get on this Zoom call. The Zoom call, I think, lasted 4 minutes. I think. Okay? The guy said he wants to take half the units, half the vests, and give it out to his units. Now, by the way, I don't know about you guys, but I've learned that I think everyone in America has their own special unit, and frankly, they must spend Friday nights with them because they're very close. Everyone's got their own special unit. They got to go to my unit, my unit, my unit. That's all I heard. Special unit, my unit. I'm living in Israel 5 years. I don't have a special unit. But these guys, Jen Bears in America, they all got units. Okay? So they got, but now, so Jerry and I did not know that. I did not know that we got the poppers. Of course, too. We give, by the way, give Penny over there. Give him some. No, put it in a plate for him. He's not a dog. Put it in a plate. Give him some chili. It's probably hot, by the way. I just put it there. Don't ask him. Just make him a plate. So listen. So we find out. So the guy says that he wants to take half the units, and he doesn't want to tell us where it's going. The guy was being very, very gava about it. He wasn't being nice. Jerry said, "Shh, listen."
He's giving half the money.
It's been recorded.
I don't care. He's giving half the money.
Syrian, by the way.
It's fine.
He's Halabi the guy?
No, stop it. Doesn't matter.
Not about Charles.
Because Jerry tells him, he goes, if you're not going to tell us who you're giving it to, we're not doing the deal.
Why?
Because the guy was acting very, very gava-like and not being nice about it, and I sensed it. And I was biting my tongue because take the order and whatever, we'll figure it out. Jerry could not do that, and the call was 4 minutes and we lost $1 million. By the way, it's not the first time we lost big numbers.
I told him we don't want his money.
He said we don't want his money.
I don't want his money.
No, it's not a joke.
Hashem gives us money. He's not just because he's a businessman and he thinks he's a big shot and he's gonna dictate to us what to do. We're not going to let them dictate to us. We were trying to help people, and it needs to go. The vets needed to go where they need to go. They need to go to the most important places. If someone thinks that they have money, so they're going to decide that I'm going to take the vets and not put them in where the army might think they need to go, or the best place for them to go because he thinks he has a friend over there that he needs to help, that's then.
So that could have been an additional order.
No, that was the order. There was no additional. But everybody was salivating over this order. They're salivating because this was the order. You want to help Israel? This is the order you want.
So the deal canceled?
No. Listen. So first of all, we hang up the phone. It was a 4-minute call. Jerry calls me back. He goes, I don't care. If I'll borrow the money if I have to. I'm going to take all the money we have. We're buying this order.
What the army said they need this.
Yeah, but we're going to go broke.
How many dollars? 2 million?
No, it was 3,800 units. It was over $2 million. It was over $2 million.
2.2 million.
2.2.
For vests, army vests.
Expensive vests.
From America?
Well, it was a lot of vests. 3,800
How much
units.
does a vest cost?
A lot. Well, now it costs a lot more.
2.2 divided
Listen, you're missing. You guys, legit, you're missing the point. You're really missing the point.
Carry the one.
Carry the one. The point is that now I'm nervous. Guys, please, I'm trying to talk. Shh. The point is that I was nervous because I heard Jerry's voice, and he was buying, and he doesn't. He had to borrow, beg, and steal. He was going to. If we spent our entire money.
$580.
Thanks so much. I didn't need to know that. It's fine. And he would. So now it's 1,000, by the way. and by the way, so now, but he's willing to do it. Why? Because he created JOC, just One Chesed, specifically just so people could do mitzvot, and he will not have anything apart that any Baal Gava. But you have to understand, it's one thing to say it, it's one thing to do it. Because my heart was pounding when you called me after, and my parents were there because I'm pacing the whole house the whole day for 10 days. I'm pacing the house, right?
Sleeping on the couch.
Well, sleeping on the couch, yeah. And he's because I know he's going to do it. He's serious. He was going to do it, and we're not going to have any money, and we're going to be broke, and we won't make payroll like the next week. We're done. But he's buying this goods because the IDF needs it. I don't know how I'm still not 100% sure how we got it, but we got it. We got the army vest, we got the vest, and they're done. They're out. They're scattered.
Not really sure how you got it.
Where'd the money come from?
Hashem.
Baruch Hashem.
Ishtabach
Some other people came in.
Can we hear the helmet story? Like how
No
you-
helmet story. What's that? Why am I saying the story?
One guy was shot.
This is not story time. This is not story time.
How
No.
the
This
bullets
is,
go through, but you
listen.
got quality.
Shh. Ellie, listen to me. Why am I saying this? I'm showing you the difference between David and Esav. Zev. The difference between David and Esav. Esav would have took the order. He would have took the money.
Calling yourself Esav?
Probably. David HaMelech made himself more red and more gingy, and his father didn't even know who he was. Who was his mother? Okay, and so to what that he still that David said no. What is emet is emet. What is emet is emet. That's what we're up to now. Crazy, and it's really emet. You told me that because I was like, could you really not do that? That wasn't a joke. You know what? Fine. I don't care what you want. It's not a matter of what you want. It's a matter of giving a class at the right time. But I will say that this is if you want to buy goods from America, you need to get them tested in Israel first, because this is a thing that when a bullet got shot through, we tested it here. Okay, and look, it didn't work. Just because they say that it's ballistic proof, that whatever don't mean nothing. It's got to be tested in Israel. Okay?
Thank you.
You're not so welcome. But again, now the question is why did David HaMelech do something? You gave him, by the way, right? You gave him? What? You made him a plate? Okay. I'm just... I said everything, whatever. It's fine. Why did David, if Hashem said that David only kills through the Sanhedrin, how did he kill Uriah? By putting him by the front lines, and he didn't talk to the Sanhedrin at all. He didn't mention nothing about the Sanhedrin. Right? Like it says in Masechet Shabbat that he should have done the Sanhedrin and he didn't do it. So listen to this. Halacha l'maaseh. Huge mahloket. Or if a person is oved on mored b'malchut, the guy insults the king, rebels against the king, does the king have to take this guy to court to prove him guilty or not? It's a great question. Think about logistics. You have the king is going to go to court, Judge Judy, right? And it's not. Uriah, because why was Uriah Moed B'Malchut?
He's the king.
So that's the question.
Go to court.
That's the question. Does he have to or does he not have to?
I think he doesn't have to.
Okay, so that's the Rambam. You're on the Rambam. Tosfot says you got to go.
Him on his judgment?
So listen to the story. So the first question is why was he Moed B'Malchut? Because David tells him to take him off the front lines. He put him on the front lines, but then he wanted to take him off. He wanted to take him off the front lines, and he said, "No, I'm not going to be where everybody's home and drink and fighting and doing whatever. And I'm going to go to my house and be with my wife and eat and drink. No, I'm staying here with everybody." Uriah said this.
So why is that Moed B'Malchut?
So it's a mahloket. Was he Moed B'Malchut or not? The king said, "Do something. Don't ask questions."
Wait, so in the beginning, David HaMelech didn't want to kill him, and then he switched on him and wanted.
He sent him to the front lines. Then he wanted him to take him off the front lines. But when he told him to go off the front, I don't know. He took him off the front line. What was it?
Because he was concerned. I mean, I think it's true that he was conceiving and not making sure that
Right.
if Uriah is to be home, that if she gives birth, they would think that it was from
That's exactly right.
Whoa.
Okay, I ain't getting into that drama.
Okay,
I don't know.
No,
it's not.
He's right. This is how
It's not right.
that's how it worked. David spent time with Bathsheba.
Yeah.
She conceived immediately.
Right.
He called Uriah to come home
To be with his wife.
and be with his wife.
So that
And he said, "I ain't gonna be with my wife because I gotta go back and fight."
It should be that I go home.
to conceal.
Okay.
Right.
Fine. Either way, fine. But what's the point? The point is that he didn't listen.
Correct. That's correct.
When your father tells you something, you listen. You don't ask questions. Why? I don't care why.
Oh gosh.
I don't have.
I
Where's your
didn't
son?
bring
Moshe, where is he? I'm sorry.
That night when you finally say something so.
I always say something regarding kids and parents and listening. My kids don't listen to me. No, they do sometimes. When they want to, they listen. Basically, they call you at a certain age. They call you for money or a ride. Right? Am I wrong? Okay, thank you.
I'm getting?
No, I do not. I got my own
Can you pick
messages.
me up? Give me one.
Yeah. They don't even give you notice, by the way. They tell you now. Can you pick me up now? No.
That's why I don't drive. That's
Now.
it.
By the way, you're the smartest guy in the room.
Yes, there we go.
So now look, you have a mahloket, boys. You have a mahloket between.
I want that
You have
video.
listen. You have a mahloket between Rambam and Tosfot. Do you have to? Does the king have to go to Sanhedrin or not? Rambam says he doesn't. Rambam says the guy's Moed B'Malchut on the king's word or the king's what he believes. He's allowed to kill him. Tosfot says differently. Tosfot said that you have to send him. You have to go to Beit Din, but we're not so nice to him. Why? Because what's the job of the Beit Din? To find the good in the defendant. To find the good in the defendant in order not to kill him. You understand? And by the way, my father always told me that the reason why the Sanhedrin dismantled itself was because they could not find the Midat Tovah in the defendant.
There has to be at least someone that.
They have to feel that. So because of that, they said it's not gonna. So they said we're not where we're supposed to be. So now, look what it says. So Rambam says you can kill. Tosfot says you can't. You got to go through the Sanhedrin, and you could assume, right? Now, if Shalom that David holds like Rambam, I don't have to ask. No, which is the Shem Shemaim. He truly believes that a king doesn't have to go and ask. Right? And when Natan Navi, who's Natan Navi? The Navi that reprimanded David for doing what he did. Huh? Right. And what is that? So
With the sheep. You stole the sheep.
right, you stole the sheep. And what is the thing? He holds like Tosfot. You should have taken him to Sanhedrin. That's what you should have did. You should have taken him to Sanhedrin and he didn't. Right? Why? Kedei le'atzil nefesh miYisrael. In order to save a life. Because if you're really killing him because he's Moed B'Malchut, try to find the Midat Tovah so you don't have to get him out. So you don't have to kill a Jew. Look what we're doing. To save one Jew, this is all worth it. One guy, right, Yisrael, who's so very stressed out these days. Was he stressed to you? Was he a little snippy to you today? A little snippy to me today. I'm just no one's watching. Right? But for one guy, it's worth it. And I'm not kidding. It's personal. You look at a name. I really wish we had them now because I would tell you, look at you will cry. Even you. You will cry. Because you know this is a real person. You know he's your family, he's your brother, he's who you are. and he's there, and we're here, and he's Or Moshe ben Aliza. If everything we do now is for one Jew, it's worth it. And like I said in the beginning, there's two ways to win a war. There's hayalim that are needed, and there's people that are learning that are also needed. We said stories in the beginning about how you see that avrechim are saving lives of soldiers. You see helonim putting on tefillin they never put on before. We should get into that, by the way, tefillin.
He started.
You did? It's $1,000 a pair. It's a lot of money. But we need
I already got a donation.
We need to. We have 1,000 pairs. It were gone in a second.
We have a rabbi in Chicago that's getting people to put on tefillin. To people that are pledging schus for a chayil, we give them a name, and he's taking videos of people that mamash never put on.
Do you know what it says in Shulchan Aruch?
Only putting on tefillin.
Do you know what it says in Shulchan Aruch about someone who puts tefillin on? All of his sins are forgiven.
Wow.
Meforash. And I actually called a couple of rabbis. I'm like, so what does this mean? Like, how does this work? Because I did look everywhere. I didn't find any fine print. Not, no, complete. Whoever puts on tefillin, all of his sins are forgiven.
So my son's put on tefillin in his unit, which is mostly not religious, supposedly, on hundreds of his people in his unit. Wow. And he said a lot of them are starting to wear scissors. Also, because of, I told this to people, but he's using his tefillin, a very high quality tefillin, and they're being used on hundreds of people, getting worn down. So someone donated just this week. I got a brand new pair of tefillin to give to him to then put on as well as his pair. So
we should do that. We should do that.
Someone donated. We gave to.
How many donate?
To the couple and
how much are they?
Maybe now
they're on the Amazon list.
I'm not buying tefillin from Amazon. So again, so let's get back to Arinyan. So now Natan Halevi holds like Tosfot, and he should try to save one Jew. Like it says, by the way, it says V'shavtu ha'edah ve'itzilu ha'edah, that you're going to judge the nation in order to save them. You're not judging them in order to find them guilty. You're judging them in order to find them innocent. That's the job of the Sanhedrin, right? And now you can understand what it says. Et Uriah ha'Hiti hikita behorev. Right, that Uriah the Ha'iti, you killed him with a sword. Why a sword? Because someone who's Moreh b'Machut dies by sword. Dies by a sword. That right? You have 4 mitrot bedin, right? Someone that's Moreh b'Machut, right? The Moreh b'Machut means that insults the king or denies to the king or says something about the king. When he does that, then the punishment is death. Death by what? Death by the sword. Okay. So, Shedinod leharag b'herev davka, like the Rambam actually holds, by the way, that when you kill him with a sword, right? And why didn't velama lo hashasha l'sivata tosfot? And why didn't you hold like Tosfot in order to save him? You have to say that what? That what is the reason why mored b'machut is hayab mitah? Because you insult the king. You mezalzel. What's mezalzel? Give me a good word, Sasha. Give me a good word for mezalzel. No, that's not rebelled. Shezilzel. Yeah. That degrading. You degraded the king. So because you degrade people, and I told them that there's a war broke out in Israel, I can't be involved in the business for the next week. You have to handle everything.
Now it's been 5, 6.
No, it's no, I'm a little more involved now, but right. Take the order. And I told him, I go, you guys, I got to do this. I'm going to call you. The conversations are going to be very short, and I'm not going to ask you how you're doing, and I'm not going to tell you good morning. But don't be insulted. I need to know what I need to know. I need to know now, and that's it. And they said, okay. They said, okay, no problem, okay. And I was telling this to Brian, and he goes, it makes sense. I understand. The guy that only, you want to talk about Avodah Zarah with money? Okay? But to show that he knows that Yehudim come together in time of distress. It says in the Gemara that but this is a little different. The Gemara says that Hashem looked through all the Puranut in the book, and he says, which one is the best to teach Bnei Israel a lesson? It's Aniyut. It's poorness. But it's not so shy after what I just said, but it's an extra side point. But to understand that we stick together. we stick together. Before Yom Kippur, before, by the way, you have to understand that everything's judged on Yom Kippur. By the way, do you know how many minyanim were mevatel because of that whole incident with the mechitza? 18. 18 minyanim across Tel Aviv was dismantled because of that whole fight. 18. Yom Kippur, Ne'ilah. 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 Come on, boys. Ne'ilah. Done. Gone. You want to be split? I'll show you split. The second it happens, what do? The second we happen. Where did this come from? Who came up with this? You know what this reminds me of? Ami said hi. This reminds me of we buy the Yam Suf. We said Az Yashir Moshe Bnei said Et Shira Hazot LaHashem, right? Nobody knew. Nobody passed out papers. This is what we're singing. We all knew it by heart, and that's Shir Hadash. That's the God willing, inshallah. Now the 10th song that we're going to sing. We're going to sing that Hashem. We're just going to know it. Where did this come from? Am Yisrael Hai. We just knew it. It just happened. When you understand, there's no atheist in a foxhole, right? The second you know that something real is happening, then it just goes. Then all that drama, the questions that you think you might have had go away, and things become real serious, real fast. They come real fast. Am Yisrael Hai. Where did this come from? Nowhere. We just did it. We all Am Yisrael Hai. Am Yisrael Hai. A guy, by the way, a doctor from Chicago, I think. Okay, calls me sending $50,000 worth of supplies to a sniper unit to his son in Gaza. He has to get it in 48 hours because they're going in. So the guy's asked me 1,000,001 questions, and he goes, "Well, I don't know, $50,000." I go, "Don't worry about it. Am Yisrael Chai. I'll take care of it. It's fine. It's fine." And the guy's like, "Okay, great. Am Yisrael Chai. I'm the guy on the other phone. I promise. Am Yisrael Chai." The guy legit. He's like, that was the conversation. That was it. That's hysterical. I was in JFK when that happened.
Is that how the drone happened?
No, that's not Faramot. No, that's okay. So now let's finish up. So let's go. So that was the mahlok between David and Natan HaNavi. David says, I hold like Rambam, I don't have to go to Sanhedrin. Natan HaNavi says, no, you should have went. Tosfot says you still have to go to Sanhedrin. Right? So, but even according to Rambam, David still should have taken it to Sanhedrin. Because it's different here. Because we're still not sure if Uriah was really Mored b'Malchut or not. There's a safek, like you brought up. There's a safek. He says, no, I'm going to stay with the people and fight. I'm not going to leave. But we don't know if that meant, I don't care what you say, David, I'm staying with my people. Or, no, I'm staying and serving the king. Because we didn't know that, even according to Ramban, David should have went to the Sanhedrin.
Also, it's a very weird thing of Mored Malchut that they're bringing. Because he's after going to war for the Malchut. And because he didn't want to come back and stay in the war, they're saying he's Mored Malchut.
But they need to... The only way to determine...
It's a weird Mored Malchut. It's not a regular Mored Malchut. A Chayal that wants to go fight for the king, you don't say he's Mored Malchut. Even though the king said, hey, you don't go. You go back home. And he says, no, I want to fight for you. I'm Yisrael Chai. You say, hey, Mored Malchut, I'm killing you. It's a very weird Mored Malchut.
So listen. So that's a good point. So that's why Natan HaNavi was saying, even if you go according to Rambam, you still should have gone to Sanhedrin to determine if he really is Mored b'Malchut or not. To determine if he's labeled Mored b'Malchut or not, because he's not sure. If he's sure, no problem, go do what you got to do. But if you're not sure, okay, now listen what it says. When we say that we have the reshut to the king, right? We know that for sure he's Mored b'Malchut. And that's mitam ze efshar lomar shusach Shlomo leosif chom. So that's why he says. Listen to what he says. Shlomo HaMelech, right, with Shimi bat Gera, right? Shimi ben Gera, right? He cursed David, right? And he threw stones at him. What does he tell Shlomo? He tells him.
Shlomo tells him if you don't leave the city, no?
Right. He tells him. Does David tell? Don't kill him, but give him a tenai to make sure that he could either do it or like to make. Let's make sure that the guys that get him on something else.
Like a test.
But what is he saying? He's saying that I know that if he messed up once, even if it was by mistake, if he's an idiot, he's going to mess up again. He's saying, Shlomo, you're a Hakam. He's saying, Shim'i ben Gera is not so much of a Hakam. If he's going to mess up once, he's going to mess up twice. Let's see inside. The pasuk says, "V'ata al tenakehu." Don't take revenge. Right? The kasher. How could David tell him not to take revenge? The guy's moreh b'machut. He did something wrong. And if you didn't find anything bad, then it's not possible for you to kill him. So what's the answer? So he answered him, Ki ish hacham ata. You are hacham. About who? Him? Eno ish hacham. Even if he's going to make a mistake b'shogeg, like he already did and did zilzul to David by throwing the stones and cursing at David, even if he did that b'shogeg, not like they didn't do it on purpose, but because the guy is not so smart, right? It's going to en adam chote ela im ken nichnas bo ruach shetut u'ma shaya lo hu sheyeh im avonotav yilkedu. Bottom line is he's going to do it again. If the guy is guilty, even if he did it in this particular case beshogeg, he's going to do it again b'mezid. So he tells Shlomo, he tells his son, meaning what did he tell Shlomo? He tells him, get him, but don't get him now. You're smart enough to figure out how to get him. How to get him. So he tells him, if you'll figure out how to get him. So he tells him, don't leave Yerushalayim. If you leave Yerushalayim, you die. That's what he tells him. So a Bakar went out, so to Bakar, one thing went out, he ran out of thing, they find out, they shecht him, they kill him. Why? He should have known, he should have been smart enough to know. That's why, by the way, with Shogeg, even if you do something by mistake on Shabbat, you have to give a korban hatat. If you drive a car on Shabbat by accident, you have to bring a korban hatat. What is a korban hatat? You have to bring a pod, right? A cow. How much is a cow, BJ?
So you get, 20,
how much is a cow? No.
20,000 shekel.
No, not that much. That's grass graze. That's
a sheep is 5,000 shekel.
I don't think. How much is a cow?
5 to 7.
5 to 7,000 shekel, right?
5,000 at least.
5 to 7,000 shekel.
Are we talking like alive or shechted and broken up?
No, alive.
Okay.
Alive. Shechted is more. No, you got to shechted in the Beit HaMikdash.
30,000.
Here, 30,000.
30,000. What? Shechted. No, but we're not talking shechted.
I'm just saying, shechted.
We're not talking shechted. I have to take. It doesn't do me any good. I got to go to the Beit HaMikdash. Why do I have to give a korban hatat? Because I did something by mistake. Why by mistake? Why should I pay for something if I made a mistake? Why do I have to pay for it? With a korban hatat, I have to go to the Beit HaMikdash. Everyone has to know that I did wrong. It's a little embarrassing. Okay, I did. I'll go on Tuesdays. It's not so busy on Tuesdays. In the morning, you want to go nets. You go nets to get this out of the way before everybody, before the rush comes in. Why? Because it's embarrassing. Everybody knows. Okay, and what's the reason? Because why? It's shogeg in your head. It's shogeg in your head. But if it was really on your mind, you never would have made the mistake. You're right. It's shogeg, and it's fine. It was shogeg. But if you really want, if it was really important to you, you would never have do it by mistake. I don't put my hand on a fire, right? Even by mistake, because I just know it's on the surface of my conscience. It's not subconscious where I know it's Shabbat. I don't talk about business on Shabbat, so I slipped the lid and something came out. I know not to touch fire because it's so ingrained in me. So if I know that it's ingrained in me, right, then you wouldn't have done it. So even for shogeg, you got to give a korban. Mezid, you don't give a korban. Mezid, you have to make teshuvah, then you bring it down to a shogeg, and then you get to bring the korban. You know that? It's horrible. It's great. That's what. Okay, now I'm going to give you a different reason. This is important. We're going to finish with this. There's a different way you can look at it. You have a mahloket between Rashi and Rabbeinu Tam, right? On this Gemara, right, regarding Sanhedrin. Okay, Rashi says that by the way, I have a question. When the soldiers go out, do they give a get to their wives?
Right, I wanted to know that.
No. Is it
No, I don't think so.
No.
Shlomo was asked that many times.
And
Yeah.
I think there's been some yes.
There's been advice to do that, but
it is advised to do it. So
I don't
the
really-
right
I don't
way.
know many people who did it.
Depends what you're doing. There's different levels of sakana.
I just work here. I don't
This is not a matter of sakana. It's a matter of whether two other guys can vouch that this one got killed.
Yeah,
Listen.
the point
It's
is
not
the
a sakana.
likelihood.
Look, I'm not interested in going into details right now.
Yeah, no.
But The Gemara says the halakha is that you're supposed to give you. I mean, you're going in whatever. You're supposed to give your wife.
Back then was a little bit different than fighting today.
What?
Fighting back then was a little bit.
The problem is when you talk about. Look, I'll give you an example. If you talk about if a guy gets captured,
Exactly.
and you don't know what happens to him.
If you die,
don't know.
you get captured.
We have a guy, by the way, in our shul,
alive.
in our Sephardic shul, Orot Hazayit, for years, is trying to save a captured soldier that is believed to be dead, but he believes he's alive.
Who believes?
A guy in shul, Israeli guy.
Efrat.
Efrat, yes, Efrat Orot Hazayit. He's spending years and money, a lot of money, raising a lot of money and spending a lot of money to try to save. When you don't know, the woman becomes an aguna, and it's a problem. So there's a debate between Rashi and Rabbeinu Tam. Does the get given, is it an actual get, or is if something happens retroactive? Meaning, Rashi says, listen up, boys, because we got to finish. They only pay me till 10:15. Shh. Hello. If I say don't talk, it doesn't mean talk. Listen up. Aguna. You gotta know that. Yeah, you're smart. A get the get that's given, that the person gives, it's al tenai im yamut b'milchama, right? The get that's given, according to Rashi, is on condition. If I die, then it's retroactive. Rabbeinu Tam is different. Rabbeinu Tam says this is an actual legitimate get, and it is now. It is a get, and it is now. Okay? And he holds that the get is gamud besina, meaning you don't go around telling people, because now, if I know that someone's wife is single, that's not right. It puts things in your head. So it's like it's not proper. So what do? You keep it to yourself. Right? The Hidushei Agadot Uzu the Meharsha. He says, Lama lo dano b'Sanhedrin. Why didn't David take him to Sanhedrin? Because he holds like Rashi that says is a get is tenai on milchama. Ve'ima yadano to b'Sanhedrin. If he would have taken him to Sanhedrin, then it would be a get lemafreya, because he would have taken him out of the war, and there's no get, right? The guy never would have died in milchama. And according to Rabbeinu Tam, who says that it's a get gamur, yesh shomat shelo dano b'Sanhedrin, that if it is a get gamur, then you don't have to take him to Sanhedrin, because there's nothing to take him on, because he wants the wife and he got the wife. So Rashi says that it's a get al tenai, a contingent get, that the guy doesn't make it out. God forbid, 1,000,000 times. Okay? And if that happens, that's one thing. But Rabbeinu Tam holds, again, you have a mahloket between Rashi and Rabbeinu Tam regarding the divorce contract that's given to the woman. Is it lemafreya, retroactive, or is it legitimate? It's a get. It's an actual get. So Rashi says it's lemafreya, meaning you're not divorced now, but who does this? The Kohen Gadol. The Kohen Gadol does this the night. Yeah, very good. Masechet Yomah, very good. Before Yom Kippur, they do this just in case, because he has to be married, so they have a side wife ready for him, ready to go. So they have a ketubah for the wife. It's all up tonight.
It can't be a real get.
So according to for the Kohen.
It can't be a real get, because then he's divorced.
It doesn't work. And if the second, when the new wife dies, then he's back in the same predicament. But regarding war, that she holds that it's al tenai, Rabbeinu Tam says it's a get legamre. Okay. Now, if you're going to hold like Rashi, right, that the get is al tenai, sheim hayad is that if you want to judge him in Sanhedrin, if you want to take him to Sanhedrin, then you don't. Then the get is not. There's no get lemafreya, because you're pulling him off the sidelines. You're pulling him off the front lines, so he's not going to die in war. The guy's going to be alive.
So therefore,
the get is null and void. Right there. You understand? But Rabbeinu Tam, who says the get is legit, immediate, then there's no reason to go to Sanhedrin whatsoever. There's no reason to go to court, because she's single. She's divorced.
Right.
She's divorced. According
another way.
The Rashi's way is that if you're going to take him to Sanhedrin, then you're pulling him off the front line, and this get that was given is null and void, because the guy is still alive, because you pulled him out of the war, so he's alive.
So he's alive, so therefore it's not a get.
It's not a get.
So therefore,
Then you go to
She's
Sanhedrin.
married.
Then you go to Sanhedrin and push out to the king. And
So
then-
no, then you can't go. Then you can't go after a married woman because she's married.
And that's why
The
you-
question is, who does he hold by, David? It's a problem either way. It's a problem if you hold by Rashi. It's a problem if you hold by Rabbeinu Tam. And this is what Natan HaNavi is complaining about. Natan HaNavi is saying, whichever way you want to look at it, it's a problem. Just like
tell me
you,
again. If it's al Tanai,
if it's a Tanai,
that if he doesn't die, it's not a get.
it's not a get.
So that's by.
So then you can't take it. Then you can't. Then she's not yours. You can't touch her.
And that's why he didn't take him to
Sanhedrin. That's what I want to take because he's alive, and then there's nothing to talk about because she's a married woman. There's nothing I can do. If you look at Rabbeinu Tam, who says la get the gamre, a real get, then you don't have to take it. You don't have to go to Sanhedrin because she's a single woman. She's divorced.
In the first one, he
So then what's
take
wrong?
her
If
on
David
purpose.
HaMelech went by that shita, then there's nothing wrong, because it's a real get.
So let's see.
Right.
So let's see. But the pasuk says, "Et Uriah haikita baherev," that Uriah, the guy you killed by the sword. Why dafka the sword? Mipnei shaya mored b'machut, because the guy was mored b'machut, right? Because he went against the king. And ve'et ishto lakata lecha leisha, and his woman you took as a wife. Demashma shekava lakaha afilu kodem sheyamut Uriah. It sounds like he took her before that Uriah died. Shma mina, that what you're holding like Rabbeinu Tam. Because Rabbeinu Tam says the get is now, not later.
So she's not an Eshetish.
That's very nice. So far, so good. Great.
משמע כבר שלקחה אפילו קודם שימות אוריה.
Good.
That he did a sin.
Good. The pasuk.
She wasn't Eshetish.
You are now you're getting it. What's he saying? He's saying that Uriah Haiti, right? The pasuk says you killed him with the sword. And why with the sword? Because he was mareh b'machut. And why? And he took his wife, and his wife he took as a wife. That's the pasuk. And so you learn that you took her before he died, which means he owed like Rabbeinu Tam. That says what?
Get Gamur.
Get Gamur. The second before he walks out of the door, it's a get. Very nice. But right, Ve'im can. If so, why'd you kill the guy by sword?
But he didn't.
Why'd you kill him? Yes, you did.
He didn't. He sent him to war.
But he sent him to war with the anticipation of him dying.
So if you go by Rabbeinu Tam, it's a get Gamur.
So then why'd you kill an innocent man? Then why'd you kill him?
Because
That's exactly the point.
Because she's not Eshetish. Why'd you kill him?
But if you hold like Rabbeinu Tam, the get is enforced the second the guy walks out the door.
So therefore,
So walk out the door, put him on the front line. Oh, by the way, it wasn't just the front line guys that gave the get, it's everybody. Everybody gave. Not just the front line guys.
You got a problem when he comes back home.
so he gave
It's
the
a
get.
fine print.
Wait. So he gave the get.
PJ likes that one.
according to Rabbeinu Tam, then the guy comes back from the front lines. He has to remarry his wife.
No, it's out. Oh, yeah, but Rabbeinu Tam, yeah.
That's a good point. So, but the question, again, this is all the tochacha of Natan HaNavi.
Wait, one second. So when Uriah Hitti gave the get, by
According to Rabbeinu Tam, divorced. Single.
And therefore, if he's already divorced, you didn't have to put him to the front line.
Right. Very good. So why'd you kill him for? So that's the thing. So lama harakta ve'im ken, if so, if you want to hold like Rabbeinu Tam, lama harakta b'hered b'nei Amon. Why'd you kill him with the sword of b'nei Amon that has the avodah zarah on it? Because now you're showing as if you're holding like Rashi that the get is contingent if he dies. What'd you kill him for? Why'd you kill him for why'd you kill him by the sword? You want to kill him by the sword because you want to show that he deserves to die. And you want the woman. You want the wife. So, which one do you want to, which means that you're acting like you hold like Rashi, who says that the get only takes effect if the guy checks out. So ve'im yamut b'milchama yeh get will be considered a divorce document. Ve'im lav, and if not, lo yeh get will not be considered a get. Ubishbil zeh harakta oto b'chered b'nei Amon, and for that reason you killed him with the sword of b'nei Amon. Ve'al ken, if so, you're contradicting yourself, David. This is Natan HaNavi's complaint to David HaMelech. Pick your poison. You want to hold that the get is 100%, or you want to hold that the get is on tonight. If the get is 100%, then there's no reason why you should have put the guy on the front lines for him to die. And if you want to hold that the guy is al tanai,
like Rashi,
Yeah. One of you guys got to know the answer.
Very hard. Hard for me to catch this.
Well, that's why Natan Navi figured it out. He's the Navi. And if you put it, and if the fact that you did put him on the front lines, that means you're holding like Rashi because you want the guy to die, which means that the get lemafreya only works retroactively. So either the get works on the minute he walks out. If it's because he walks out, if you can hold like a Rabbeinu Tam and the get, then you don't have to kill him. But if you did put him on the front lines, you make it sound like you hold like Rashi, who says that only the mafreya once the guy dies. So because it doesn't make sense, Natan Navi is screaming, "What did you do?"
But what happened with Mizarzel?
The Malchut.
So this is a completely different avenue.
Well,
We said Nami b'derech aher. The Moreh b'Malchut was one part.
They're going together here. They go together here. The reason why he was
we're discussing why Natan Navi was yelling or reprimanding David HaMelech. But first we went through between is he Moreh b'Malchut or not. Now put that aside. That's chapter 1. Chapter 2 is a completely different thing. We have a mahloka between Rashi and Rabbeinu Tam. When does the get take effect? Right away or only after? And that's where then we have the dialogue between David and Natan Navi. And Natan Navi is saying, what are you doing? Either you hold that the get, divorce document takes effect right away, or it takes effect retroactively only once the guy dies. But if you send them to the front lines, if you hold like Rabbeinu Tam, that's not necessary. Because because the get's in effect right away. But if you want to hold the other way, that the get is the mafreya, that only if the guy dies, right? Then why'd you put him on the front line for? If you go by again, sorry, I messed up. If you want to hold like Rabbeinu Tam, that the get is immediate, then you didn't need to take him. 1 second, let me do. I'm sorry. Then you didn't have to put him on the front line
because she's not an Eshetish. You could have taken her
because she's free. But because the get takes effect right away. But I'm sorry. But if you're going to say that the reason why you put him on the front line is because the get is lemafreya, that means you're acting like you're holding like Rashi, who says only once the guy dies does the divorce document actually take effect. Right. So which one is it? Either put him on the front lines because lemafreya, or if you're going to hold like a Rabbeinu Tam, don't put him on the front lines at all. But because you're dancing between two parties, you're drinking one course and thinking about another, that's why Natan Navi is screaming at him. What are you doing? Make up your mind. You can't do that.
But
yes?
I just wanted to mention, I'm reading here the diuk, is that Rashi is against the pasuk of Pshat that says, the mashma dekvar lekacha kodem sheyamut Uriah.
Where do you see that?
ובזה נתפרש הפסוק.
Yeah. Et Uriah hikita b'harev. Lama b'harev, you're right, there's a comma. Why with a sword? מפני שהיה מורד במלכות.
ותשתו לקחת לך, דמשמע דקבר לקחה קודם שימות אוריה,
which means you hold like Rabbeinu Tam.
Right, sorry, Rabbeinu Tam.
Right.
And that's why kasher that he did Rashi.
No, he's splitting the pasuk, right. Is saying that why'd you kill him with the hared? Because it's moreh b'machut. And the fact that he took his wife is because she's a free woman. Because you hold like Rabbeinu Tam because he gave the get. But if that's true, then what'd you put him on the front line for? If she's free, once he gives the get, the guy walks out the door, that he's free. She's free. What'd you give it? What'd you put him in the back, Hazit? What do you want from the guy? That's so mean.
But he has.
That's why Natan Aviv is screaming. What are you doing?
Right. But he has a relationship
with
Bathsheba. Before
yes,
he sends Uriah back.
And Shlomo Melech is born from that.
David Overseller.
Yeah. No, by the way, it's not true. That baby dies.
You should know, by the way, there's a midrash.
Who's Shlomo Melech from?
From Bathsheba, but later.
There's a midrash.
But later. This is not
there's a midrash that says that Bathsheba, that David HaMelech encounters Bathsheba in the forest.
Yeah.
And David wanted to take Bathsheba. And Bathsheba says it's not appropriate for a king to do this, and David stopped. These are real life issues, boys. It's not.
While she was married, Kilu.
I don't remember if she was married. I have to look at the midrash again. You have it. Yeah, I'll find it, but it's there. I don't know where. Bottom line is,
he has a relationship, and then he says,
define what does that mean? The relationship. What does that mean? Relationship. What does that mean?
From which
he was with her. Yeah.
And then he sends him back to the front lines. What is this conversation about? he already had a relationship with either Ashes Ish, which is a real problem.
He was because he gave a get. No,
He gave the get. Uriah gave the
Uriah
get.
gave the get. By Rabbeinu Tam, she's already
At what point?
divorced. Before he goes
The
to
minute you
war.
walk out the door.
Every Chayal, David HaMelech gave a get. Every Chayal from David HaMelech gave a get. And there's machloket if it's immediate or if he
I
dies.
understand.
Yeah.
The question is, at what point did David have a relationship with Bathsheba and the whole conversation about Uriah? If he was already there and she's a free woman, then why is he sending him back? At what point did he send him back?
To the army?
Yes. To the
After
front
he
line.
realized that he wants Bathsheba.
Before he had a relationship with her?
He gave a get. Doesn't matter. When he went to the army, he gave a
I'm
get.
not
Makes a
following.
big difference.
Huh?
Whatever. I'm
You
interrupting.
following? It's okay. Bottom line, we're gonna wrap up. The zechut of Zera Shimshon, Sash. Listen, the zechut of Zera Shimshon, it should be a protection on all our hayalim. That everybody should be protected.
He was
Zechut of
the
David
Natzach, mamish.
Zechut of Rashi, Zechut of Rabbeinu Tam, the Zechut of Tosfot, the Zechut of Rambam, Zechut of Asara Ma'amarot, right? The Zechut of all the Shimon, the Yakut Shimoni, and the Zechut of all Natan Hanavi, and the Zechut of all the Gedolim that we mentioned tonight, including the Zera Shimshon. It should be Zohar HaKadosh. The Zechut should be for the Hayalim, for the Shevuim, that they all should come home and be together for Shabbat. Baruch Adonai Le'olam, Amen, Amen. Rabbi Hanina Bekasha Omer Asa, Kadosh Baruch Hu Lezakot, Et Yisrael Leficha, Yitbarem Torah Mitzvot Shenemar, Adonai Hafez Mas V'lo Yagdir Torah Ve'adir. Anyone have a Kaddish? Wait, hold on.
Siddur.
Anyone have a Siddur? On the, I have an app.
Go ahead with that.
You have an app? Put it on the app, because I have a Sephardic app. Zagabra boys, all right, let's take a break. We have too much food. There's a problem.
There's no such thing as too much food.
Let's make a Kiddush.
You're looking at it.
I mean, a Kaddish, good.
I thought more people would come.
Kaddish.